Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about something extremely fun, something that I'm super passionate about, and that is staying out of debt. How exciting, right? It's so much fun. My husband have been out of debt since last summer. We have 4 children that we adopted, and we have been loving it so much. We have been having so much freedom to do basically whatever our heart's desire is. We've been able to save up to buy a beautiful car. We've also been able to save up for a remodel of our kitchen, which is so awesome, and it's so much more amazing than I've ever thought it would be. And we also been able to go on some amazing vacation. If you haven't seen that video, just check out the last video to our vacation to Colorado, and then soon me and my husband will be able to go to Barcelona, Spain with each other. And it's like we don't have any stress about money anymore because we are completely out of debt. And so here is some tips in this video about how to stay out of debt. And so my first tip for you guys is to have an emergency fund. Having an emergency fund is so important for everyone's life, and that you have to have 3 to 6 months of your expenses. And what that means is everything in your household that you spend money on each month needs to be saved for times 3 or 6. So for instance, your utilities, your clothing, your food, whatever it is, your gas for your car, your just in case your car breaks down, you need different things. So just having that emergency fund set for you, put into a different account than your checking account, so into a savings account, so you don't have any access to that at all times. So it's kind of funny, in our house we actually have an emergency fund for our emergency fund, just in case. So in our checking we have a $500 line in our checking that's miscellaneous for emergencies. So it's an emergency fund for our emergency fund because we know how important that emergency fund is for our family. So if something happens, like the tires go out in the car, no problem. We have to replace the axle on our new car, which has happened. It costs a couple $1,000s, no problem. We have it in our emergency fund, we can pay for it. So it just causes so much less stress in your family, and so when something does happen, you don't freak out and go and get a payday loan or something like that, which would be terrible for your life. Trust me, that would be horrible for your life. So that is what we do, and I think it's very important. So my second tip for you guys today is to get amazing insurance. And insurance is so important. And we've had times in our life where we had amazing insurance and it helped us out a lot. I had a surgery a few years back, and it was just a minor surgery, but before insurance kicked in, it cost about $12,000, guys. And so we only had to pay about $2,500 of that with our deductible, and with the percentages and all that stuff, it's about $2,500, and we just paid it off in cash, instantly, because we had an emergency fund. It's so important to do that, and not to pay payments and to cause all that stress in your life. You just oh, here's my money, I'm just gonna pay it. So that's the insurance and the emergency fund really do go hand in hand. It's very important. A time when we didn't have great insurance is when we had about a $4,000 van, and I wrecked the van. I got into a car accident. It was completely totaled. Praise God, everybody was okay. It wasn't that bad of a thing, but the van was totaled and we couldn't use it anymore. But I just had liability on the van, and it would have been fine if we had an extra $4,000 to put towards a new van. But in that time, we did not have an extra $4,000 in our emergency fund for a van, for instance. And so we were kind of stuck in this limbo stage of having only one vehicle for about a year. We only had one car until we just purchased our new car last October. So that's kind of the importance of having amazing insurance. If you cannot replace that item, have insurance for it. So our new car, we have full coverage for it, and then my other car, we don't. We just have to liability because it's not as expensive, and it could be replaced with a couple $1,000s, for instance. So having great insurance is so important. So life insurance, house insurance, health insurance, all these things, eye insurance, dental insurance, stuff like that is so good for you if you need them. Sometimes we go, if we know my husband has a lot of dental work to be done, we have 1 year where he has dental insurance, and the next year he doesn't have dental insurance if it's expensive. But now my husband's got a part-time job, and his part-time job provides amazing insurance. So we have insurance on everything now, and it doesn't cost very much money, and it's great insurance. So there's just different ways that you can go about this, guys, that would like really work and benefit for your life. But I highly recommend having great insurance. It's so important to keep you from having a catastrophe and being in tons of debt. My next point here is save for larger purchases. So sometimes, and I'm kind of like this, I am a person that when I feel something, I have to go and do it. You know, like, oh, I want to go to India today, and like that's something that I'd probably do, like very spontaneous, or like I want to go buy a car today, like just different things like that. But when you save for these larger purchases like cars, vacations, remodels, stuff like that, like you are investing into that purchase. So like if you go into debt for like your vacation, you are just paying back that purchase like a while later. So when you're invested into it, you can think about it and you can really mull it over in your brain, like, oh, what am I gonna do on my vacation coming up? Instead of being like, oh my gosh, I have to pay for this vacation I went on 2 years ago. Do you understand what I'm saying? So like, let's always pay in advance for everything that we buy. It's so important. Even when we bought our vehicle, we thought we would want something more expensive than we did. And then when we saved about enough money that we thought was like, oh, this is probably good enough, we were like, oh, it's okay to have this type of car instead of this type of car, because we really didn't need that more expensive car, and we paid cash for it. Otherwise we'd be paying back that car still to this day. So anyways, those are my tips. And I have a bonus tip for you guys today, is to not live beyond what you can afford. Don't go outside your expenses of what you can afford. So like if you get a raise at your job or something like that, that doesn't mean you should go into more debt for that $50 payment. You know what I mean? That payment, that $50, that could go towards something amazing, guys. It doesn't have to go towards a payment of something. You don't have to be in this trap your whole life. You can get out of this rat hole. I just want to encourage you guys today that you can do it. You can get out of debt, you can stay out of debt, and you can live an amazing lifestyle. It can be great, and you can like give so much money away, guys. Since we've been out of debt, we've been able to give 30% of our income away, guys, because of how great it is. We're not tied down to anything anymore, and it's been so amazing and so much fun to be able to give money to people in need, and give money to our church, and give money to whatever it is that comes up, and we don't have stress about it. It's awesome. And so I just want to encourage you guys in that there is a better way. There isn't this like American dream paycheck to paycheck lifestyle that you have to live in. You can do it. You can stay out of debt, and you can do it. So if anybody else has any more tips about staying out of debt, go ahead and put those in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I love talking about debt. I know not everybody agrees with being out of debt. I understand that. I was told when I was younger, like, you have to have a mortgage and you have to have a car payment. I think those are lies. But like, if you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear from you as well. Anyways, I hope you guys have the best day ever, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!